From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick.
And I'm Ksenia Lukic.
And coming up on the show today, something that people will either be delighted by or horrified by.
Yeah, so it looks like the critics were wrong. All's Fair has been renewed for season 2 on Hulu. And I don't really know how to feel about this.
I don't think the critics were wrong. I think everyone is across what's happening. Like, it's a terrible show and everyone's watching it. So that's why they've renewed it, right?
I know. Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, obviously it wouldn't get renewed if the numbers weren't up there. What's interesting to me, though, is a lot of the criticism around it was that Kim's performance was really, really terrible.
Yeah. I don't think that's in dispute. It's pretty bad. Again, I love that woman. Pretty bad.
But it's amazing to me how the entire cast have all come together to defend her. Like, all these really, really high-profile actors have come in and really, out batting for her.
Yeah, and I guess that we've seen, there was this whole, they came into this with a really clear goal that they were going to make this kind of spectacle television that was all about the looks and the moments and the one-liners. Like we were saying, it's almost been tailored for TikTok, which is TikTok and Instagram is where this show is also really growing because everyone's memeing it, everyone's doing the sounds to it. So it really has that viral life that I think they were gunning for behind the scenes. And it also has that thing of they're still doing interviews together at the moment, the cast. We're seeing this whole thing of sisterhood and unity, which is this huge thing that all these A-list actresses had kind of pushed from the get-go, that on screen their characters would say the most vile, horrific things to each other, but behind the scenes they would only ever say positive things about each other. And it's a tactic that's really worked.
It has, but they seem to really genuinely just be very supportive of her. I was looking, so Glenn Close, one of these things that she said about Kim was she had no pretensions that she was a great actress, but she was smart enough to have people around her who she could learn from. And then Naomi said, a businesswoman taking a huge, great leap into acting, a new arena, and unapologetically so. It's almost like a participation medal.
Yes.
That's what it feels like. They're no, we really love her. I mean, she may not have been great, but she's trying.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think even they can come out and say at this point in time that she's a great actress. And I don't even think Kim Kardashian is saying that. Her whole thing is look at the work I put in, look at the time I put in, not so much look at how great my performance is, but also the show kind of, I don't know, I'm watching this show each week. And I'm quite liking it.
Has it gotten better since episode 3?
No.
Okay, because this is one of the things that Glenn Close also said. She was saying that.
She's it's going to get better.
Yeah, she literally says that. She's the first 3 episodes were not very good. They shouldn't have led with that. But I've seen all 9 and it does get better. And then I was okay, is this just one of those teething issues thing? Is it going to get better in season 2? And even the director was comparing it to The Wire.
Yeah, I feel like people in the room would have just been yelling at him at that point in time to just be quiet. Don't compare it to The Wire. That's literally the worst thing you can do. So The Wire is one of the most celebrated TV shows of all time. And no one said The Wire was bad when it started. It was very intense storytelling. It was very different to a lot of the TV shows at the time. It asked a lot more of the audience. And it just you had to really put in the work to really get something out of it as a viewer. But that's not the same as All's Fair. You put zero work in as a viewer.
No. I don't know how to feel about it because obviously it has its place on television. People like it. Comments are yes, this is amazing. This is the best show. But then I'm also these really lauded actors seem to really love Kim, and it's kind of sweet. I kind of like seeing them all at sleepovers in Kim's pajamas. I'm I kind of like that part of it.
Yeah, I think the real test for this show, whether everyone tuned in for the premiere, and it was the biggest premiere that Hulu had ever had for a show like that, and there was a lot of kind of chat at the time whether those numbers would drop off, but they've kind of, they don't release full figures every week, so we don't know, but what we can see is they've remained kind of steady and people keep tuning in for the spectacle, and that's why it's a really safe bet for season 2 that people will come back to see. I'm sure that what the conversations they're having now is what other big pop culture moments can we reference, the part where Kim's character references Beyonce's Lemonade video, or which other famous actresses or people from pop culture can we come in to do these wild guest appearances and what other crazy things can Kim wear, like the G-string on show and all that sort of stuff to get people in. So it's very kind of that. I'm wondering if they thought maybe, because like there are some good performances in it. I know Sarah Paulson's been ripped apart, but she's not good in like the screechy scenes, but the quiet scenes with her character, Carrington, she's quite good. Naomi Watts, it's kind of interesting that she's in so many solo scenes. And I think one of the reasons for that might be is that she's the only one who's giving like a proper kind of acting performance, and she's better when she's on her own, because when she's with the group, she falls into the same kind of weird acting as Kim and the others, and that's when her accent goes in and out. So there's a lot of stuff kind of working behind the scenes there. What I also think is interesting is that a lot of these actresses are either about to be in these kind of big, critically acclaimed productions. Like it's kind of well known that Sarah Paulson is about to sign on to be the lead of the next American Monster Story series. And that will be a huge critically acclaimed moment. And it's been a while since she had like the lead in a Ryan Murphy production. Tiana Taylor is most probably going to get nominated for an Oscar for One Battle After Another, which she's incredible in. And so she's going to be doing the Oscar circuit. Glenn Close is also in the mix for an Oscar this year. So I kind of love this moment in time where the most critically acclaimed actresses in Hollywood are also in the worst rated show of all time. But those two things are kind of lifting each other up.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I was like, is this a reflection, a poor reflection on them as performers, or is it more of a things can be good and bad at the same time? You know, it's like
Yeah.
you know, they can be really terrible in this, but also be lauded and get an Oscar. Who knows? Maybe next year we'll get Kim Kardashian winning an Oscar.
I mean, I can't even comment on that. I'm like, can't even make a joke. She really wants a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, she really. It.
I mean, she would get it in the sense that you have to buy it for yourself, and usually the studios buy it for their stars to promote their movies. So that's fine. So she definitely has the money to buy it. But there are a certain amount of things that you have to fill in on the form, and some of them are more to do with the traditional sides of like acting in Hollywood, being nominated for an award, being on a show that's nominated for awards. You have to sort of prove that you are eligible. Part of that world. I actually think, and I know this is a controversial take, I always think that Kim didn't have to attach her name to a show like this to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I almost feel like they could have just, because she has changed culture and she has been on a TV show for 20 years. I actually thought that we should have just given her the star before, because she's said openly before she wants one. Her thing is she's like, Lassie, you know, the dog.
Yeah.
Lassie has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and I'm not allowed to have one.
There are some really weird ones on there.
Yeah, I feel like the rules were a lot looser back in the day, and now they're just used for movie promo. So anytime someone has a movie coming out, the studio will be like, we'll buy the star for you. And so they pay for it. And
it always makes me laugh that they actually have to pay for it themselves.
Oh,
and
yeah.
But a lot of people wouldn't know that. Like,
yeah, that you have to apply, jump through all these hoops, and then you pay for all of the, not just like the actual physical star putting in the ceremony, the security, the promo around it. But then again, it does give you this hit of promo. That's why people don't just get a star willy-nilly. They always, if you watch like kind of like the timeline, actors and singers usually get a star when there's a really big release about to come out. That's why the studio pays for it for them, because it's such good press. And it's a big thing during like the pre-Oscar season where they'll try and get their person a star just before the Oscar campaign, so it makes them look more legit. So I actually think that Kim Kardashian will be happy with a star than an Oscar, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm excited All's Fair is coming out for season 2. I'm so glad it's dropping weekly as well. I could only watch one episode. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
I dip into this crazy weird world once a week and I go, wow, that happened. And then I give myself a week like respite.
Do you do a rewatch of, like, because I know you like to watch certain episodes. Actually, everything you watch, you always watch it multiple times.
Yeah. Just so I can really, for work as well. And sometimes for comfort watching.
I think you need to stop using that excuse, because you do it with everything.
Well, I mean, if it's comfort watching, I need to watch it twice for my soul. If it's work, I need to watch it twice for my brain. No, All's Fair, I'm watching. I mean, look, we're definitely going to do a brutally honest review at the end of the year. So I probably will start a double watch. But right now, I'm one up and out.
Okay, that's actually very telling, Laura.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my confession.